Hello, everyone, and welcome to the semi-final of the Speed Souls Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin tournament. With our two runners today, we have Fujo Herrera and Nick Style. So this will be the first of two semi-finals. It is the finals of the winners bracket. Whoever wins this will go to face Pseudo Stripey or Zyrelia, whoever wins that losers round. And Ali, how are you feeling about the race today?
I think it's going to be very close. It's going to be very close.
Is there anything we should be
they're,
looking out for?
yeah, they're both very top tier runners.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think this one's going to go down to the wire. A lot of strats to choose from. So I'll be very excited to see how this plays. So if everyone is ready, I think I'm going to start the countdown and we can see what happens. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone. Let's see what happens.
So yeah, this is obviously Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin any percent, and the basic premise for the first half of the game is that there's this area called the Shrine of Winter, and what it does, it basically leads to the Drainlight Castle, which you need to get to the second half of the game. But the only way to get there is to either collect the 4 Great Souls, or you can collect 1,000,000 souls, which is what's going to be done in this run. And the way they're going to do that is that they're both going to start the Bandit class and the Bonfire Ascetic Gift. And what that item does is when you use it at a bonfire, it resets that area to the NG plus version of whatever NG you're on. So what they're going to do is they're going to kill the boss called the Rotten a couple of times, along with some other bosses, to get a lot of souls.
And coming up here now, we see the first sort of skip, and that is Kartzel, with Nick getting it first time, and Fujo going for what is known colloquially as the Bathy strat, which is when you realize you don't have the gamer skills to grab the items normally, so you beat it to death with an axe. So what this means now is that the players can pop the 200 soul at the doorway on the way to Forest of Fallen Giants, and then they can buy a firebomb without needing to pop the soul then. And from there they save. I mean, how many seconds does Card Soul save compared to getting the river bone?
It's like second and a half or 2 seconds. I think second half or 2 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, but it is in terms of what makes it so comfortable, it means you can pop a life gem at Melentia, because in Scholar, compared to Vanilla, you have the unfortunate occurrence of hollows following you into the Cardinal Tower, which is, I mean, in my case, it kills many of my runs, which is embarrassing to say when I still only have a 57. But yeah, so hopefully that won't happen to either of our runners here. It's definitely one of the more annoying early game tilts, I think.
Yeah. I also think that Cart shows more swag as well, personally.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely is. It's one of those, and I feel like it sets the scene, for the run. I don't want to curse either runner here, but it is like, I find that if I'm playing well, I'll get Cart Soul. First time, I feel like I'm one with the game, that Tanimura is smiling at me and that things are going to go well. I mean, I'll probably inevitably die too, not being able to kill the crystal lizards after Congregation, but I guess that's a different story.
Yeah, so as Fordy mentioned, they need 200 souls to buy a firebomb from the NPC Melentia. And the reason for that is because in the Cardinal Tower, next to the Cardinal Tower bonfire, there's a wall. And behind this wall, there's these barrels. And if you throw a firebomb at them, they'll explode and they'll open up a nice shortcut. And turns out, if you just basically budge yourself against the wall and throw a bomb, it will actually destroy the barrels from the other side of the wall, which lets you get to the first boss a lot quicker than the intended route.
And just looking so far, there's a few differences, I guess, between the runners. One of the things I noticed is that Nick is in fact using a female character. I don't know if there's any discussion. I don't think it's the case that it's a smaller hitbox. I think nowadays Nick is just a bit lonely, so I guess it gives him something else to look at. Why do you think, Ali, he's going for the female character here?
Probably for the reason you mentioned, I'd imagine. It's the only explanation.
But I mean, as a commentator here, it makes it easier to differentiate. So I guess I'll have to give him credit for that. But yeah, so as they come into the Cardinal Tower here, they will pop the soul while talking to Melentia. They will light the bonfire. They will equip the firebomb, and then hopefully they will explode this wall. There are barrels behind this wall, and that if you tilt your camera down, as both runners have just done, you will open up the wall and you can get the last round quicker.
Yeah, it's a little precise, but it saves like 30 seconds. So it's definitely worth it.
It's definitely if you're doing serious runs, it is one of the first significant reset points, or at least it is for me. And then up here, there's a possible skip that Nick, I don't know if he's going to demonstrate. I don't think he is. It's called Jean Jump. And what it involves is you skip this entire elevator by dropping down to the hole to the left of it and landing on top of the turtle. It requires a bow setup. It saves about 6 to 7 seconds, but I don't think it's exactly um, race appropriate. I find it's more of a micro optimization, and of course it would set you back a formidable amount of time. Do you know if we've seen it in the competition yet, Ali?
I haven't seen it personally, but I'm not sure if it's happened in the races I haven't seen.
Well, like, according to Stennis, we have in fact seen it. So I mean, I don't know what it says. I don't know if we've seen it from Fujo or Nick. And Jean did it. Well, it is named after Jean, so that would make sense. And I'm just reading a comment here from Amitho. Every point's a reset point of 40. If I was a moderator, I would ban you, but I guess I can't really do anything there. Just wasn't expecting to be attacked while doing public service here. Yeah, I agree with Lichbon. I think if you have a skip named after you, I think you are obliged to do it. Which is what other runners in this tournament have skips? We have Jeff Jump.
Yeah, Jeff.
Actually, Jeff can't make it through enough rounds to actually demonstrate it. But that's, I think, more a problem with Jeff than the jump itself. 508 last giant. Was that a 508 last giant? This is insane.
Yeah, I think we completely skipped over last giant.
Yeah, no, I have a list of runners I have grudges against here, and I'm just trying to insult them in the first 10 minutes. And I forgot to focus on the run, so that's my bad.
Right, so what they did is obviously they killed the last giant. Both runners getting pretty decent fights. And then they bought the Leningrad's key from Valencia to unlock the blacksmith's door in Majula, and they also bought an item called the Bright Bug. And what that does is that it's an item which increases your damage and defense by 50%, and it lasts for 2 minutes. So it's one of the most useful items that they're going to use in the run.
Absolutely. And so far things seem to be quite smooth for both players. There's not more than, I don't know, about 5 seconds between Nick and Fujo at the moment, which is always great to see. Where do you think over the next few minutes, Ali, like if you think these are going to diverge, what do you think is going to cause them problems over the next while?
Well, probably either Rotten or I'd imagine Najka.
Yeah,
or Congregation.
For
sure. The next couple of bosses basically.
I'd be interested to see if either runner decides to go for Jeff Jump, which is a jump in the gutter, which saves approximately, I think, close to 10 seconds, maybe 7 or 8, is a very good.
It's around 8, I think.
So, I don't know, but I feel like if you were to take that, you would want to take a safety bonfire beforehand, which may lose you some time. But it'll be interesting to see because talking to these runners beforehand, I think safety and consistency are the two main aims of both runners here. I think it's a case of, as opposed to, instead of going super, super fast, it's a case of don't die and go super, super slow, which is, I think that makes sense during a race.
Yeah, and now Nick is murdering this innocent NPC so he can get his armor, which is called the Tells Door set. And what it does is that when it's equipped, you get extra souls from each enemy you kill. And they also got the Covetous Silver Serpent Ring from Valencia, which gives you 20% extra souls. So they're going to be using both of them in conjunction with each other to get the souls they need throughout the run.
And so Nick has grabbed 4. Yeah, both runners have grabbed 4 bones, which I believe means they have to grab the Homeward Bone and the Life Gem item before Rosabeth. Am I right there, Ali? That's a cost-saving measure, I suppose.
Yeah.
And a peach measure, if I'm going to be critical about it.
And they both did the 2-handed rapier gutter drop. Feels peachy, man.
Yeah, I remember when I first used to watch Dark Souls 2 runs, the preferred strat was using a life gem to time it, which I always thought was quite stressful. I didn't exactly have the hand-eye coordination to pull it off. But it's nice to see the most runners these days move towards the more peachy rapier strat. Okay, so here we go. So runners are going into the gutter now, and Nick is going to grab the gutter bonfire, which is just a fail-safe here because there are a lot of annoying spots and hollows that can attack you. And as you can see, Nick is quite low health here. So, you know, like 1 or 2 hits from any of these guys would kill his character. So I think it makes sense. And we are not seeing a Jeff
feels
jump
bad,
from
man.
Nick. Nor are we from Fujo, which is understandable if somewhat disappointing. So the gutter section comprises of a couple of jumps, which Nick has just demonstrated here, and Fujo will momentarily. And at the end of it, we'll move into the Black Gulch, and from there we'll see our first. And how many is it our only Great Soul?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, it is.
yeah. So we'll see the Rotten at the end of this, and which will play a significant part of the mid game, because farming the Rotten with all the extra soul sets and the Silver Serpent Ring is what gets you the 1 million soul memory.
Yeah. So.
And,
Yeah, so obviously killing the Rotten multiple times does turn out to be minutes faster than going to kill all the Great Souls, or going to collect all the Great Souls. But if anyone's interested, there is a category called any % Old Souls where you do that.
And it should be noted that there is no Scholar Old Souls tournament, which might tell you what people think about the Old Souls category. And just reading a comment here from the chat section, Pseudo Stripey comments that it's a good race so far. Stennis also mentions that both runners are at 0 style points. I presume it's because we're at the business end of the tournament now. You know, I don't know if we're going to get any displays of flair from here on out. I think it's just going to be I think it's just going to be very precise, very very particular type of gaming from now on. What do you think, Ali?
Yeah, it's just going to be the textbook run, which is understandable.
Yeah. So now we might get a few seconds of divergence here, depending on what sort of fights in the Rotten each runner gets. The ideal fights involve overhands and pukes from the Rotten, and him using his cleaver arm. The general strategy is to take off his cleaver arm as quick as you can, because then most of his attacks are easily strafed, as opposed to if he keeps his cleaver on, in which case you have to roll and sprint away, and it's much slower. But here, yeah, so Fujo's taking off the wrong arm. He's taking off both arms, which is one way to do it for sure.
Well, that's
and so
smart.
is Nick. So we have yeah, they're 2 Rottens and 0 arms, which is
there's some style points there.
Absolutely. We are neck and neck here. This is
we are.
Like 6 seconds, 7 seconds. This is tight for sure, and I'm pretty sure that both runners are watching each other. So I'd imagine the tension and the sweat levels are rapidly increasing.
Also, Nick went for the ascetic warp, which I don't know the technical explanation for, actually.
I don't know either. I'm a runner, not a thinker.
Yeah.
I hit the buttons and my character goes fast, and that's all I really think about.
Yeah, it just works. That's all you need to know.
For sure. So, okay. Reading more comments from chat. Why didn't 40 take part in the tourney? Because apparently having a above 1 hour and 30 minute any % average isn't appropriate to run in a serious tourney. No Gene jump, no Jeff jump. What happened to the flare? I don't know. I feel like, you know, this is. I'm really. I don't know where flare is gonna pop up here. I just don't see it. Like both runners here are demonstrating that they're extremely competent and they're extremely focused. So I really I'd be very surprised if any runner goes for something that's that could cause them to mess up. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I don't think either runner's going to go for early RTSR. And RTSR, for anyone who doesn't know, stands for the Red Tearstone Ring, which is a ring which, when you're below 30% HP, it increases your damage by 20%. It's not as OP as in the first game, but it's still useful. But the problem is, because it takes quite a while to go out of your way to get it, you want to optimize, you want to get as much time save as you can by using it on pretty much every fight, which in a race can be pretty spooky.
Absolutely, it is one of those. I know, like, I'm pretty sure for the Reki run at the moment, held by Pseudo, I believe that I think he uses Orteosaur in his run.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah, he does.
Yeah, it is.
He uses it on pretty much every boss, excluding Throne Duo.
Yeah. That would be some crazy runner to do that. Although, of course, for those in the know, the 17k strat, which is the Pursuer Soul skip and getting 17,000 souls, has made its way onto Scholar recently. So over the next few weeks and months, we could find times make their way to the #1 spot on the leaderboard with 17k, which of course, as has been the case in the vanilla category of this game, will destroy the category. So fingers crossed that those people see sense and decide to stop running it.
Yeah, the real reason why 40 didn't join the tournament was because he had PTSD from 17k in vanilla.
That was one of the things I was considering. I was like, what, if I were to run the tournament. The real reason I didn't run is because I have no discipline and I didn't know if I'd be available on weekends. Which is, for someone who spends so much time in the room, is quite a silly statement to make. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd be tempted just to go for the 17k and then maybe just forfeit 6 minutes in if I don't get it.
Yeah, and then if you get it, you're pretty much guaranteed to win. From that insane time save.
Yeah, that insane. We see, you would think that, right? You'd be minutes ahead. You're king of the world. You're a frame perfect runner. Easy Escape's gonna make a video about you that says effectively nothing. And however, and it's something that 17k runners will know, is what ends up happening is you just start sweating profusely. Or at least in my case, it's insane. I can barely hold the controller.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just this feeling of fear and panic, and you doubt everything. Like you start stamming out at random locations. You forget inputs. I think I bought 2 maces once. It's just it totally throws you for a loop. So it is a curse. 17k.
So both runners went to the Shaded Woods and they bought a weapon called the Claymore and got some gold pine resins. The Claymore they're going to be using on a boss called Magus and Congregation, and the gold pine resin is a lightning buff that they're going to use on the rapier throughout the run.
Yeah, this is so we're coming up to one of the first extremely annoying bosses, especially for non-Ortiosaur, which is Nazca. So there's going to be a single hit on Nazca while she's in the ground, and then they're going to buff their rapier, and then they're going to try and land their hits right where her tail is, so they can get her in a cycle of just doing tail attacks, which are easily dealt with, as opposed to her jumping around and normally killing runs. So Nick has a pretty good attack there. He's going to hopefully bait another tail attack now, which he does. So nice. Nick's great fight there. And we'll see what happens with Fujo. And Fujo has got Soul Mass, which could be hugely disastrous for him depending on how this goes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad RNG.
But I think he's coping well as long as he doesn't die here. And before
the jump back.
Okay, nice. I think that was an unfortunate second half of the fight. I think he dealt with it well. I know in a run, in a race at least, you can your nerves can definitely get to you. And if he died there, going by how consistent both runners have been, that could have been a huge problem. But I think being 15-20 seconds behind, that's not the worst outcome.
Yeah, he kept his composure. He didn't have any nerves. He finished the fight cleanly, despite the bad RNG.
No, it was really well played, and I think that's what this game's going to come down to. It seems. I think that both runners are going to be dealt at some point in the run some horrible RNG, you'd hope, for the sake of balance, and it'll just be how they deal with it. So
Yeah. Yes, so both runners bought the mace back in Majula, and the reason for that is because in these areas they want to kill these lizards, because they drop some really useful upgrade materials, but they're pretty difficult to kill with the rapier, so we just use the mace on them.
Yeah, and there's after the Congregation fight, which is coming up shortly, there are 2 more crystal lizards that they need to whack with their maces in order to get enough materials to upgrade their rapier to +10. But I find, at least in my experience, I lose a lot of runs to the second of these lizards. It involves having to quickly run around a door frame and land 2 consecutive hits while the lizard attempts to run away. If they miss the lizard, I believe it means your rapier will only be +8, which is a huge issue for the rest of the run. You'll definitely start hemorrhaging time there. But there is a peach strat, which is locking on to the lizard just as you come out of the door frame, setting yourself up. And then, you can get 3 more large shards in Bastille, which shows my total lack of casual knowledge. But hopefully we won't have to see that. Hopefully both runners will be okay here.
Yeah, and they also bought in Majula these items called Alluring Skulls. And when you throw them, the enemies will be attracted to the spot where it lands for a few seconds, which they'll be using in some pretty tricky locations where there are a lot of enemies. Like in this fight, for example.
So that took a few hits. And the issue with not killing these healers in Congregation quickly is that it makes the fight much longer. Everyone gets a buff. It takes so much longer to kill. And the goons, etc., the hollows around, can prove quite annoying when paired with the Prowly Magus. But Nick is dealing with this well. He's consistently putting down damage, which is exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, and this is why they bought the Claymore.
Yeah, it's got a huge attack arc. You can hit multiple enemies at once. Doing this with the Rapier takes extremely long. You normally can only hit one, maybe two enemies if you're lucky, but here you've got this wide swiping motion, which clears up a lot of these annoying enemies, especially the enemies on the ground, which are very difficult sometimes to hit with the Rapier. So that was, I think, it was a pretty good recovery from Nick there. And no Claymore from Fujo.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, it's is that style? Are we allowed to call that style?
I don't know why he doesn't have the Claymore.
Yeah, but
maybe he forgot. I don't know.
Okay, we're grabbing the bonfire here. Fujo's he's not taking any chances, and Nick's going straight for this. So we'll see what happens. Nick gets the one-hit kill on the lizard, which is pretty sweet. A lot of the time that takes 2 hits, but if you're as good as Nick, you can do it in 1. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here, I suppose. Hopefully Fujo doesn't need the bonfire, right? Nick has got the that is the problem lizard, but Nick's dealt with it well.
Ah, Nick didn't get the jetpack.
Okay.
That would have been the ultimate style.
Yeah, I would have appreciated that. Okay, we went for the YOLO. That was really good by Fujo. That's a difficult sort of thing to do. So looks like he probably won't need the bonfire. That was a nice jump. Okay, so Nick completes the segment, which is going to be a 20:52, I think. It's pretty sweet.
Ah, he called it. Nice.
And let's see where Fujo lands with this. So yeah, we're really I mean, the amount of time here, like 20:50, so it's 16 seconds between the two players. I mean, one or two rotten fights, there's not much in it.
Yeah, it's a lot closer than I thought it would be at this point.
Absolutely. I know Fujo made up a lot of time on Nick in Congregation, but that was somewhat cancelled out by the Peach Bonfire. But I don't know, it's still all to play for. I mean, one massive time, like one significant time loss either way could it's all to play for. It's really tense.
So they upgraded the Rapier to +10. And now they're going to go to the Lost Bastille to go kill Sentinels, so they can go get the last bonfire Sketic they need after the fight. And then it'll be time for the Rotten Marathon.
I would like to award the first of the Speed Soul style points to Nick there for going for the Bastille jump, which is
beautiful. It was beautiful.
And there we go. He is he's blocking with his Rapier to demonstrate his dominance over all other runners, which I guess I have to agree with. But Fujo's going for the more responsible, but albeit slower, normal door open. I think Fujo's strategy here is that he would know he's behind, and I think the strategy is here like don't die and just hope for something to happen on Nick's end, and then Fujo's right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as Fordy mentioned, one bad rotten fight could easily turn this run around.
I think both runners are. I think they're composed enough to know that. So we're not seeing any major, we're not seeing any huge YOLO strats from either runner at the moment. They're just trying to stay in it, which I think is a good idea.
So yes, now it's Ruined Sentinels, and for most casual players, including myself, it was a pretty tough fight, but because they have +10 Rapier of Goldpine Resin, it's a very easy fight.
Absolutely. And both players are handling this pretty well. It's looking quite good. I'm not seeing any major issues from either player here. Nick got a pretty comfortable fight, and Future hopefully can emulate that. That's nice. Okay. So for the rest of the segment, all Nick is going to do is he's going to get a bonfire aesthetic, and from there he can warp to the Rottens and start the Rotten grind. and Fujo behind him. Okay.
No Jeff pathing. Feels bad, man.
No, this is these runners are really sticking with what is but I mean, Jeff pathing isn't, from what I understand, it's not slower. I think it's slightly faster, and
Yeah, it's faster.
I suppose with Jeff pathing, you'd have to either pop a soul like the Najka soul, you would have to pop right after the Sentinels fight, which requires a bit more extra menuing. It could just be extra stress. I think at the moment both players are just focusing on taking it easy. This is very boomer strats, says Jeff the Big Lizard in chat, and I'm inclined to agree with him.
Yeah. To be fair though, Nick did compensate with door skip though, so he's excused.
But I mean, if we stream this for an hour, a semi-final into the grand final, and the biggest style moment was doing a 6-second Bastille jump, what is the point of speed salts?
That is very true. That is very true.
Going fast is only half the battle. I'd rather like finish 5 seconds slower and look cool while doing it. Which is a sentence of...
I know my priorities, man. I know. Now it's time for the Rotten Marathon for both runners. They're going to be fighting the Rotten 3 more times. And yeah, obviously each time he's going to have more health and deal more damage. But he's also going to give more souls. So we'll see how this goes.
Any Dark Souls 2, any percent current patch runner in either Vanilla or Scholar will be very well acquainted with the Rotten. This is the meat of the run, I suppose. A huge amount, and it's really annoying because a huge amount of time is lost or gained, and you really don't have any say in it. It's just whatever the Rotten decides to do on a particular day. So far, Nick's fight's been pretty okay. Fujo gets a lunge, which is really nice. You can land 3 hits there if you're able to. But another overhead for Fujo, and that arm is about to come off, I think. Which is fun. Okay, so there's half a Rotten in between the players at the moment.
Once you get his cleaver arm off, the fight becomes pretty chill.
Yeah, which is what we see now. So there could be an AoE here from Rotten for Fujo. No? Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Lovely. Very nice finish.
Still. We were half a Rotten or a tenth. This is I really don't know how this is going to go. This is just, if there's a Rotten death, that dramatically changes the dynamic. But I don't know. These runners are really, I mean, they're playing it safe, but they're playing it well. I don't see any dramatic Rotten deaths. Although that could be a commentator's curse. I probably shouldn't say that, just in case.
You can't take it back now, 40.
Nick's getting a beautiful fight here. He's got all overheads. He can take the arm off, I think. Yes.
Oh, it's a beautiful arm cut.
Insane casual knowledge there from me. And Fujo gets a pretty decent opening. And that's a more annoying cleaver attack, which Fujo does not punish on the arm. Okay, this is I think Nick's having a much better fight at the moment. Okay, Fujo can keep whittling away at that arm. This Rotten for Fujo is being a bit annoying. I wouldn't be happy if I was running against this Rotten. But yeah, there's still just about 2 or 3 Rotten cycles between them. This is getting closer. I think Fujo's making up for time here. Nice casual knowledge of how many hits a +10 GPR rapier needs to cut off an NG ++ arm. Indeed, Red. This is what I've spent the last 2 years of my life doing. I'd like to know that, at least something good came out of it. Okay, this is all to play for. I haven't seen a run like this in the tournament so far. It's extremely close.
Yeah, most races I've seen have diverged in terms of time quite a bit by this point.
Yeah,
and this is still very close.
This is the final Rotten. Nick got a pretty... Ooh, that's annoying. I think any non-cleaver attack is very annoying, especially one after another. Nick will not be happy with this opening, I don't think, especially with an AFK Rotten afterwards. Fujo goes for the buff immediately in the fight, which I'm not a fan of personally. But I don't know. It's what he does.
He's gotten like 5 of those.
Oh, and Fujo has got the puke attack, which is the best attack. It means he can get multiple cleaver hits.
Rotten is loving that. Rotten 4 is loving those slam attacks at the
Yeah.
moment.
Okay, Fujo's
even
really
doing
bringing
it,
back here.
even doing it with his arm gone. Man.
Okay, we have the synced AoE there. Fujo gonna YOLO this. Ooh. Okay, Fujo really brought it back. We are neck and neck still.
Yeah, it's
My
like,
God.
it's like
28,
5
23.
yeah, it's like 5 seconds between them.
Yeah, 5 seconds between them. This is insane.
Yeah, so now they're gonna pop the souls they've got from Rotten to get to 1,000,000, and then they're gonna buy some items from Valencia, do one more level up, and then it will be entering the second half of the game, which is basically what the first 30 minutes has been building up to.
This is. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this race. This is. I mean, I think I can say at this stage that I mean either whichever runner loses this will be pretty heartbroken, just by how close this is. It's a fantastic performance, if safe, from both players. I think at the moment, the cart stall
Yeah.
might make a difference. Yeah, that's a good point, Stannis.
Although, to be fair though, we probably shouldn't talk about how close the race is until Amana though, or until after Amana probably.
Yeah, the great equalizer or the great leveler, I believe. I
Yeah.
believe is how Chad has been referring to it over the competition, which I think is a fantastic name.
Yeah, and Throne Duo is the great equalizer.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So both players are going to make the long sprint through the Shrine of Winter and up to Drang Lake Castle, which is I don't know. It's it really marks the end of the early to mid game. I would call Drang Lake. I guess that is like you're deep into the mid game.
Yeah,
at that stage.
it's around the half point of the game.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like to read out one particular or a few comments here from the community. 2 Red 2 Game says that Nick's Rotten 4 was almost as infuriating to watch as both runners taking the second Solo War bonfire. I totally agree. Lichbon says Nick is actually the time of Lucatiel door skip ahead. That's a very good point. His one style point seems to be standing to him here. That's a good point by Dr. Oso. Congregation has been pretty nasty. I find that if you don't get a perfect congregation, things can go kind of south time-wise. And Pseudo Stripey says the door skip, the most dangerous strat we've seen this run, which I think is a way for Pseudo to possibly bait the runners into doing something that they don't want to do and maybe seeing a capitulation. And then if Pseudo is to win his race later on the competition, face against a runner that might be frazzled from doing YOLO strats in the semi-final. I think what we're seeing here is some psyops from Pseudo trying to sound out the competition. But
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I think Pseudo just doesn't want to be the only one who's lost like 10 minutes in Amana.
Yeah. Amana deaths. That's going to be... See, I think the way these guys are playing, I think if there's a death in Amana, there's probably going to be a bonfire taken 30 seconds before it. I really just don't see them... Like, I don't see a huge 4-minute Amana time loss coming. But, again, you know, that could be suspect to the curse of the commentator. We shall see.
Yeah, so you're in Drainlit Castle. In order to open the gates, there's these big golems, and they need to absorb some souls. So both runners are gonna kill them on either side for each one, or close to each one. Now they just gotta wait for the door to open.
So are we going to get an emote wave from either runner, or are they being so sweaty as to not even risk that? We shall see.
Ah, Fujo
There we
went for
go.
it.
Fujo, okay.
Outstanding.
A double wave. Any waivers in the chat? Okay. So here we go. Nick has decided to actually buff with GPR now, so he'll get, I think, it'll be a one-hit kill on the stone, on the soldier, and a one less hit kill on the Oh, okay. We might see a divergence here.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Haven't seen that in a while. Nick has been delayed by the soldier at the door, and now is it the first time in the tournament, in the race, that Fujo is definitely ahead?
Fujo is officially in the lead now.
Oh wow, this is insane.
And they're both going for the insane strats of opening this little door first before taking one point.
And that's interesting. Nick is the one with the buffed weapon and took 2 hits to kill the soldier, where Fujo has an unbuffed weapon and only took 1, because Dark Souls 2 is a fantastically made game. Okay.
Yeah, it's the greatest game ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're both gonna they're both going to pick up the old Radiant Life Gems for Enduro later.
I gotta be honest, I'm not running. I don't even have a PS4 controller in my hands, but I'm starting to sweat. I'm starting to get nervous for both of these runners, because I'd imagine that just looking at the other screen feels like you're watching an instant replay of your own run. They're that close together. This is gonna come down to the wire.
I'm pretty sure that Nick is watching Fujo's stream as well, so he must be really nervous at this point.
Yeah. This is insane. This is insane.
Yeah, so the next boss is basically just a repaste of an earlier game boss, except there's just two of them in the same arena. It's the twin Dragon Riders. And they both two-hand their bow in the left hand here, because one of them is holding a great bow. So they're going to shoot him to bring him down, and then they're going to go kill him, because he has very little HP, so it should just be a free shot. And then they'll fight the other one.
Fujo has just got hit there. And Dragon Rider has
the shield down.
Ooh, this is spicy. I think Fujo might just take it easy here. A double shield, but it should be dealt with. Okay. Okay. they just killed Dragon Riders on the exact same frame on my screen. This is insane.
Yeah, there's like half a second between them or something, literally.
Okay. And we've just seen another slight divergence there. Fujo has gone for the bonfire before he does his loop around Drang Lake, whereas Nick has opted not to go for the bonfire. So we're seeing a slightly more risky strat from Nick. He really wants to pull ahead. We'll see what happens. He is, by all accounts, I think the medical term is a madman.
Yeah. So what you have to do, in order to activate the elevator to go get the key to get to Mirror Knight, you have to activate one of those golems again with some souls. But the problem is, in vanilla, it's quite easy because you have quite a few enemies to choose from, but in Scholar you have to use the mannequins, and if they're pretty spooky, because if they hit you 3 times, they deal bleed damage, and then you're pretty much done for. But both runners got a pretty clean mannequin though.
Yeah, Nick's mannequin was pretty cool actually. But again, there's only a couple of seconds between these runners. So it was a 35-19 door for Nick, and a 35-23-24 for Fujo. This is still neck and neck. Yeah, I am.
Also, Nick going for the style jump there.
Mm-hmm. It is sad that like we're looking for diagonal jumps and praising the style points. But what it is.
That's what it's come to.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the bonfire rest, they're super close to each other.
This is just insane.
Yeah, so now they're going to go onto the longest elevator in the game, and yeah, so one of the few points in the run where you can actually just chill for a bit before the next fight.
Absolutely. So I think they're going to spend a few seconds organizing the inventory. We might get another remote, unless they're in full sweat mode. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, going by the way this run has gone, I mean, Nick's in the lead by possibly 2 seconds. Some might say it's all over for Fujo. I don't know how you come back from that. Let's see what happens. And As Cream Legacy has come with the Prime Gaming subscription. Do Speed Souls have any emotes at the moment, or is it just support?
I'm pretty sure they've come out.
We do.
I'm pretty sure we've come out with some emotes recently. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Like a few days ago, actually.
Look at those. Look at those emotes. How could you not want those? Any Speed Souls emotes in the chat?
There's some beautiful emotes.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to be a fool to not want them.
Absolutely. If I didn't spend all my money on tier 3 subscriptions for Nick and Fujo, I'd be subscribing right now.
So now they're gonna go fight what I like to call the scripted knight, or consistent knight as most runners call him, which is basically if you do the fight the same way every time, you can bait him into doing a specific lightning attack, and as long as you don't mess up, then the fight will happen the same way every time. So it's 100% consistent as long as you don't mess up.
Which I suppose it is the theme of this race so far, consistency and them both doing the exact same thing.
Is they're gonna bait an attack here? Do 3 R1s now too, and now And now we should just continue to do these attacks the rest of the fight.
So this is looking pretty typical from both runners.
Nice fight for both runners.
Oh, we are mere seconds between these. I need something to happen.
Now we are probably entering the most infamous area, both in vanilla Dark Souls 2 and especially Scholar of the First Sin, and that's the Shrine of Amana, which is the ultimate run killer for most people.
I have no idea how this is going to go. This is neck and neck. The thing is about Amana is that time losses can be huge here. You know, like death is lurking around every corner. It can be right behind every mage missile. There's a multitude of strats you can go for. A lot of the time, if you die in Amana, you've gone for something which, you know, you couldn't pull off, or simply the game told you that you just couldn't do it.
Yeah, the major problems are, of course, first of all, the Archdrakes, which deal a lot of damage. They also have a poke attack, which is literally undodgeable. Also, the water, they can just run in the water if they want, but you have to slow walk because Tanimura has a pretty bad sense, pretty sadistic sense of humor. And also, the spellcasters, when they cast the soul arrows, they pretty much follow you throughout the entire area until you dodge them, basically. And they deal quite a bit of damage.
So I guess we've noticed a slight divergence here again, that Fujo has gone for the life gem to bring him back to 100% health. He's also going for vanilla popping. Oh my god!
He got the double poke that I jinxed it by mentioning it was undodgeable, man.
We've seen an equalization here, folks. One of the most annoying attacks to try and get out of the way of is the poking from these Amana boys. The hitbox is messed up, it lingers, and it destroys runs. However, there was a bonfire taken. Nick is not out yet, so please hold your Fs.
Yeah, it's probably like a 35 second difference.
It's a very
yeah.
But of course, if Fujo dies here, he'll be even further behind than Nick. So really, it's still all to play for here.
So Fujo's equipped some of the Bandit's armor, which gives you enough poise to tank one soul arrow without getting staggered.
This is good movement from Fujo so far. Really liking this play. Nick got slightly beat up again by the Amana guys. He might need to pop the old Radiant once he comes out of this area. Okay. So Fujo's going full health. I think if Fujo's watching Nick's screen, I think we're going to see a peachy Amana here, which I fully understand. Might see a YOLO Amana from Nick, depending on how he feels.
You know, I actually could see him doing it too.
But of course, there's still, I mean, even all the way up to Throne Duo on this Chandra, there can be deaths and significant time losses, so...
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, like, for example, on Guardian Dragon, we've seen, like, runners who have died, like, 3 times to Guardian Dragon. So, you know, things can happen.
So Fujo is not going for the final Amana bonfire. He is saying he sees the game is in his hands, he wants to kill the game. So he's just gonna go for this. He's going ham. He knows he is the lead. He wants to capitalize on it. You know, Fujo wants to be sitting at the throne while Nick is trying to figure out why the hell these missiles keep following him. This is a bold play. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off. Okay, so Nick's going through the amount of fog gate here. It's looking good. I think he's going to be okay here. I think he's going to get through.
Yeah, you can tank one soul arrow, but luckily he didn't get any.
So I think Nick's going to have to leave this bonfire as well. Yep. So here we go. I think the circumstances of Amana have forced both players into becoming madmen, which is, I don't know. I'm very happy to see it.
Yeah, that's what we wanted.
Mm-hmm. So everything's looking okay here. It's a pretty decent fight for Fujo.
Nice. Got the 2 cycle.
That's a very competent kill from Fujo. And now Nick is coming up to the same fight. So there is one Demon of Song fight in between. It's a lot to play for.
Yeah, so the only points where I could see any equalizations would probably be Guardian Dragon and Throne Duo and Nassandra.
Yeah. However, I've seen in this tournament, especially Velstad has killed runs. There's just something about that guy. Seems to really get to runners in this tournament. So, you know, I wouldn't write off either runner yet. There's still a lot that can happen.
Yeah, he seems to Yeah, he's pretty finicky in races, it seems.
And I noticed a war cry there from Fujo. Is he baiting Nick? You know, is he trying to get the chat going? Well, what do we think of that strategy? We think that's
Yeah,
another psychological move by Fujo.
he's asserting his dominance. He knows he's in the lead, and he's not
Mm,
going to lose. He doesn't want to lose it. He's got all the confidence in the world right now.
absolutely. This is a runner in the top of their game. This is a runner who is energized by the death of another, which I guess is apparently the best motivation you can have. And yeah, as they both move towards the Velstad split, it's I don't know which way this is going to go. So what we're going to see over the next few minutes is both runners trying to get through the undead crypt. Um, no, no bright bug from Fujo, which means he's going to pop it in the boss room because you can't do it before that due to the presence of an invader. So it's I don't think it's a huge time loss, maybe a few seconds. So I don't know, Nick or Fujo is he really wants to lock this one down.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
So you'll see with Fujo here, there are these soldiers with pretty big shields blocking the way, but if you shoot an arrow with the ceiling, they'll look up, they'll be confused by the sound, and then you can just run past them.
Okay, so Fujo is going to bear right here. He's going to go into the final corridor before the Velstad fight. And all he has to do here is he's going to buff his rapier along the way. There he goes. And then he just has to get past a few Scion Knights and another Dragon Rider because the DS2 team kind of ran out of ideas. That's why we have multiple Smelter Demons as well. But yeah, the Velstad fight is when you're not using RTSR, the plan here is that you want to get 3 counter hits and then 2 counter hits after each Velstad combo. Then he will go into a buff state for a couple of seconds while he tries to buff himself, and you'll try and finish off the kill. So here, Future goes for 3 hits. He waits. Another attack. It's an annoying swipe. He'll go for 2 hits here. And then another swipe. Okay. And now Fujo will just empty his stamina bar onto Velstad. And this is
Very clean.
pretty nice. A beautiful fight here. Fujo is he's calm, he's composed.
Yeah, that was pretty much a perfect fight.
Absolutely. Those one-handed swipes are annoying, but I think he dealt with them well. Didn't lose too much time.
That was pretty spooky pathing by Nick to the fog gate.
You see, I mean, I think Nick knows he's behind. He's doing everything he can to try and close that gap, and gotta give him credit for it. It's, you know, it's what he's doing. He's doing everything he can right now to get back.
Oh,
The follow-up. That's awful. Oh, but it's gonna give him a few extra hits here before buffing, so it's not all bad. But that's not an often seen attack to follow up, depending on your positioning. I think Nick just got kind of unlucky there, which is hopefully not a theme of the rest of the run. But yeah, we're
So if anyone is wondering why or what these runners are doing in the second half of the game, as it relates to completing the game, basically the item you just saw Nick picked up is called the King's Ring, and what it does, it basically opens these things called King Gates or King Doors when you have it equipped, and you need it to get to Aldia's Keep so you can kill a Guardian Dragon, so you can get the Ashen Mist Heart from Ancient Dragon, Dragonary, so that you can spawn Giant Lord, so that you can kill him, so that you can then spawn Nashandra, which is the final boss, so that you can then complete the game. It's very complicated, I know. Blame Tanimura.
Oh, I've just noticed that Fujo has not got RTSR from the Scion Knight there, so I know he's healed again. So I think his plan here is to either try and tank a hit from one of the ogres or ogresses, I'm not too sure which, and go back to RTSR, or he's deciding not to RTSR at all. And on the other hand, Nick has taken RTSR from the ogres themselves. So a bit of a difference in plays here.
Yeah, so Guardian Dragon's probably the fight that I'm scared of whenever I do runs of Dark Souls 2, because you have to do it's a relatively precise setup at the start of the fight, and if you mess up, Then if you don't get good RNG, he can just fly around for minutes if he wants to, which is really bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so if Fujo doesn't go for Orteosaur here, it'll be necessarily a longer fight. There will probably be a jump back from the Guardian Dragon, which will lose about 10 seconds. It depends on the type of jump back and follow up attack, but at least 10 seconds if it goes poorly. So I don't know. I mean, I think Fujo has 2 words in his head right now, and that's "don't die," and Nick has 2 words, and that's "don't lose." So we'll see how both strategies play it. Oh, hold on. I think we're getting Mortiosaur here. Excuse me.
You should know this 4D or vanilla runner, man.
Sure. I see. I thought the healing from Fujo was like him panicking at the fog gate and thinking, "There's no, I don't want to do it." But no, he's gone for it, which is impressive.
So they're gonna do the lock and roll setup.
Lock and roll Fujo. 1, 2, 3 hits.
Nice.
They're gonna move to the side. This is looking like the perfect Guardian Dragon fight.
Yeah, yes. So with that setup, you want to try to bait Guardian Dragon to turn around, so then you can just go and finish him off.
That was an ideal fight from Fujo there, so he'll be pretty confident. But Nick isn't that far behind. Again, like every single split from now on has death moments in it. We've got Dragon Shrine, we've got Giant Lord, and we have the final boss rush. This is Nick.
Ooh.
Nick. Oh. Well, that might
have been the ultimate, the ultimate time loss for this race.
That's rough. So, if Fujo's seen that while he's on the elevator, he's probably going to take a lot of bonfires. He's just going to try and dial this in. He's going to take this one home if he can.
Yeah, that's one of the worst. It's one of the worst deaths you can have.
But
time loss wise.
Yeah, it feels bad, man, for Nick. However, it's not over till it's over, or it's not ogre till it's ogre. So we might see something happening in the last few minutes. If there's a death, a thrown duo, a death and a Chandra, it's blown wide open again. So, see what happens.
Also, we have the ultimate swag, which they added into Scholar, which is the zip line.
However, I will also notice that Fujo has decided to get the bonfire before the zipline. Yeah. Which I don't know if Fujo has a fear of heights or something. I don't exactly know how he thinks he's going to dive between now and this bonfire. I suppose it's a quicker bonfire, but still, I don't know. He just really doesn't. He doesn't want to die, Fujo, and I guess that strategy's been working out pretty well. If he goes,
he's not taking the second bonfire.
If he took the second one, I'd have to file a formal complaint with Speed Cells, see if we can get runners removed from the ticket for just insulting the game. But no, it's just the one bonfire so far.
Actually, more of a risky strat actually just to take that one.
Yeah, but let's see what sort of. So Fujo goes for the Jeff strat, which is when you're not too confident in your abilities with a controller or keyboard and mouse, so you hit that wall there to get the enemies to move for you, which is not very fast, but of course that's why it's a Jeff strat. So coming up here, this is one of the scariest bits in the run. I think you've got a multitude of enemies here, and yeah, they can jump, they can roll, they can stun lock you, and right here in this tiny corridor for Fujo is the corridor of death. Let's see how he gets through it. Fujo, that looked pretty sweet. Okay, so Fujo's going to Dark Sign here, get the Ashen Mist Heart, and move on to Giant Lord.
Yeah, and they did a nice little trick where if you interact with the NPC and then immediately after use a confirmation box item, you can just use the item while going through the dialogue. Just a nice little time save.
It absolutely is. And now we're going to watch Guardian Dragon jump around for Nick because, I don't know, it seems the game itself is very intent on picking its own winner today. But the Guardian Dragon has decided to throw the flame outside of the arena, which I don't know if that's intended, but it is what it is.
So you also see Fujo here doing what we call the Giant Lord jump. And basically normally to get into the memory to fight Giant Lord, you have to go for one of the King's doors, but if you just do that jump, you get there, bypass that, saves like 30 seconds.
Okay, so we're going to have to, it's going to have to be at least a Giant Lord death, I feel, on Fujo's part.
But even with Giant Lord death, he'll still be quite a bit ahead. Probably
Absolutely.
gonna come. I mean, if he dies here, then dies to duo a couple of times, there might be a chance.
The only thing I can think of happening now is like if someone knocks on Fujo's door, you know, offering him pizza or something, and distracts him for 10 minutes. Which is, I don't know the likelihood of that happening. Normally, I think that can be countered with Mom, I'm playing Dark Souls 2. Please don't knock anymore. But we'll see how this goes. So, Giant Lord's being kind of annoying for Fujo, but he's dealing with it well. And yeah, so Fujo is just taking it slow, taking his time here. And hopefully he's taken a hit of damage, which is just a tease for Nick, I suppose, because it won't significantly alter the outcome of the fight. Okay, so as it stands, Fujo is moving into the final split of the game, and he's got a sizable lead. This is really significant. The only way Nick is clinching this win is if we get a death at the end of Throne Duo. And even then, it's not you know, it could still go to Fujo. It's gonna be tough for Nick, but I don't know. I think he's got guts. You know, he's got this far in the competition. Although Nick is grabbing the bonfire here, which I personally I don't agree with that. I think if there's another death, it's all over. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, although Fujo's on time-wise on really good pace there. Could probably get like maybe high 56, low 57, depending on how good of a duo he gets, which is very nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he can get the insane sub 40.
It's not too difficult. But yeah, so Nick went for a slightly more YOLO strat. He's just trying to save the seconds where he can, which is laudable. So as Nick approaches the Guardian Dragon, or the Ancient Dragon, excuse me, Fujo approaches the throne, or the Throne Duo. So yeah, quite a contrast.
Yeah, and you saw that he did a little jump after he opens the King's Gate to lose some HP so that he can use the old Radiant Life Gem at the start of the fight.
Doesn't it? So if he aims his camera down, he won't get hit by these, or he won't get hit by the first shot. Okay, so we've got this is a great fight so far.
That was a very clean duo.
Oh, that's
the cleanest duo I've seen in a race so far.
I feel like Brazil is going to be a flood of tears watching this fight. This is rough.
I got shield though.
The shield, yeah. But I mean, if your focus here is not dying, I think you'd be delighted with this fight.
Absolutely. A very, 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 very clean fight from Fujo.
Absolutely. Just like the World Cup, indeed. Okay, this is we're gonna get a red tear stone ring, Giant Lord from Nick, which is the exact move he has to make as Fujo moves towards Nishandra. This is Fujo, excuse me, not Pseudo. Fujo just has to bring this one home.
Yeah, he empties a stamina bar. He pops a life gem, hoping to bait a beam, which he luckily gets.
Luckily, are you suggesting there wasn't just timing and positioning involved in that, Ali?
I misspoke. I apologize. It's all about timing and positioning in this game.
Absolutely. So Fujo's gonna take a final laser, and he's gonna finish off in Chandra. Can we get some GGs in chat?
GG to Fujo. That's an insanely good run.
Fantastic run by Fujo. I think that's is that the fastest? I think that's the fastest run, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and Nick.
I'm pretty sure Nick also had a 56.
Nick has been best by Giant Lord, which is
56-27 from Fujo. Very, very nice.
Fantastic time from Fujo. Okay, well, we've one player still in the race, and that is Nick. So, can we get our support behind him? He's going for the style bow, I believe. I haven't seen that strap before. Then again, I haven't seen Nick lose a race before, so I guess it's
there's a first time for everything.
First time for everything. Absolutely. It's one of those, like you're waiting for a race, you're waiting for Speed Souls tournaments to bring out special strats, and Nick doesn't disappoint. There is the brand new strat of using a bow on a hollow while on the wall at Giant Lord.
Yeah, and here in this final cutscene, Fujo's going to claim his rightful throne.
Fujo will Fujo will be facing Zairelia or Pseudo Stripey, depending on who wins that fight, which will be a fantastic race, I'm sure. Okay, so Nick is going to try and finish off Giant Lord here. Hopefully Giant Lord doesn't do anything too mean. He's doing some weird steps there. But Nick's gonna finish off Giant Lord there. Or is Giant Lord not dead?
The 16 HP survival.
What a meme. But okay, so all Nick has to do is the final boss rush.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened without either without the Guardian Dragon or the Amana Death, because they were insanely close at one point.
Absolutely. I mean, for the majority of this run, both runners have been just on top of each other. It's been a fantastically competitive game. Okay, it seems the majority of the discussion in the chat is about channel points, which shows how shockingly materialistic the Speed Cells community is. They say Cells is toxic, and I see why.
I know, it's disgusting, eh?
It's disgusting, isn't it? Unbelievable. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to see any special strats from Nick. I'm not. The only thing he could possibly do here is Orteus and Chandra. I know he was practicing it before the run, but we'll see what happens. The darkest day in Brazilian history. Yeah. You know, when a lizard is speaking sense, you know something's up.
Very true.
Mm-hmm. And Laura gifting a tier 1 sub to Red. Thank you for the. I'm allowed to thank on behalf of Speed Cells. I guess I am. For the sub to Red.
Oh, is Nick gonna try and get Watcher to fall off?
No way is he going.
Oh, he's doing it. Oh, he got the bad attack for it though. Ah, no.
Unbelievable. You know, that's the thing about these current patch runners, you know? They just think they can waltz into old patch strats and just do them. You know, kids these days.
Stennis must be crying out of excitement right now.
Stennis is rolling in his grave.
I know Nick's going to become an old patch runner now. This is the confirmation.
Damn. Oh, maybe it's a 400 IQ Orteosaur setup here. Or not. As he goes for the heal. He's going for the end. Okay. I admire the tenacity.
Shouldn't have healed there.
This game does not like him.
He's good.
Okay, we're getting a tactical save and quit from Nick. Okay. Are we getting a... Okay, I believe that is a formal forfeit, but I think we can give a GG to Nick there for a fantastic attempt. It was a really, really close race for so much of that. So GG's, Nick.
Yeah, thanks.
GG, guys.
GG Fujo as well. Okay. So yeah, firstly, I just wanted to say, like, there's I'm sure you guys are watching each other's screens. It was so tight for so much of it. What exactly was going through your head? Like, what was the strategy there?
Yeah, man. My mindset was really good until the moment that I got double poked, started rolling the mana. This killed my mindset entirely. So from that point and beyond, it was like the snowball effect. I got like I don't know, dude. It killed my vibe, my mood, and I didn't play well the late game, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, up until like Amana, you were like half a second apart or something like that. You were like insanely close.
Yeah.
Is Fujo muted intentionally? Is he going for a strong silent?
Sorry, I didn't see I was muted. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, that was GG on that run, Fujo. That was really
fantastic.
insane.
Yeah, GG's Fujo.
GG, Nick. Incredible. It was I didn't watch much of the run from you,
Yeah,
but
dude, me neither. But I had the string open. I was speaking I killed Rotten. I looked at the screen. Yeah, you were fighting Rotten. I was like, yeah, man, we are neck to neck.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
the,
incredible,
um,
man.
the Monka's moment was the first time I checked the stream. It was after Mirror Night. I was like, how are we on the same elevator at the same time? What is going on?
Yeah, dude. Did you saw how I died in Amana?
No, but I saw you die. I checked on the elevator after Guardian Dragon. I saw you die.
Yeah. Dude, you know the first 3H Drakes in Yamana, part 1, I got like poke, but I tried to roll the first poke, so I got a started roll, my character preempted roll the second attack, and I got hit by the third H Drake, and I died. Was
My God, man,
unfortunately.
I'm so sorry. Like
Yeah, no worries, dude. Like, shit
second race we
happens.
do today, and you still get insanely bad RNG. Like, what did you do
Dude.
to Tanimura, man? You don't deserve that.
Nah, Tanimura doesn't want me to have a good run, dude.
When you Fujo, when you saw on the screen that that there was a death in a monosonic, how did that affect how you wanted to play the late game? What exactly was going through your head?
I only saw he died after killing Guardian Dragon, so I was like, yeah, let's just not take any risks. Take the bonfires, do no RTS Giant Lord, and finish this. Like, I didn't want to like rush anything or show off. I just wanted to finish the run. And I felt actually really sad for Nick because, yeah, as
Nick
I
was so
said,
tight.
Nick is a fantastic runner. He doesn't deserve such bad RNG.
Nah, dude, it happens, man. GG's, Fujo. You played really, really well this
Thank you,
race.
man.
Yeah, man, dude. Oh, did you guys saw that I got dance floor at the first Drunk Lake door? Like,
Yeah,
the first cyanide? Dude,
I
I
couldn't
got
believe that.
dance floor. This is the first time that this ever happens to me. I got dance floor. Thanks God that I react fast, because I was like, I tried to open the door and I got dance floor. I was like, dude, what is happening here? And then, dude, we know how we talked about mutant before the
Yeah.
Rolling the
dude,
dice.
the clip of the dance floor. I reminded the clip, and I was like, no way, dude, no way.
Yeah, no, it was really rough. I really felt for you there. There was like a lot of there were a few moments. I think it was it your? I think someone, it might have been you or Fujo, had a pretty annoying congregation fight, which can lose you a lot of time when there's a buff. But that's
Yeah,
was me.
I reacted pretty fast. Like I threw a skull and just killed a
Wait,
priest.
did you also had a bad congregation?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, my
Instead
congregation
of,
was.
I couldn't do anything. Like,
Yeah, my congregation was terrible, man. Like, I think that I miscalculated the damage for the white mage, so I had to 4 hits the first white mage, and then the second one finished the buff, and I was like, oh, dude, yeah, here we go again, man, here we go again. And then I unloaded the dude, and he didn't die, and I was like, yeah, Fs. But and then when I got the claimer, it was just a pretty.
yeah.
yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
either way, watching it was just it was just so neck and neck. It was very difficult to commentate. I'll say that for you guys. It was difficult because I'd say like Fujo's here, then I'd have to say, well, Nick's right there too. So that was that was quite annoying. But
Yeah.
So yeah, Fujo, you'll be going on to face either Pseudo or Zurelia. So how do you feel about that? The potential matchup.
Both Zyreli and Pseudo are very strong racers. Pseudo is worrying me because in the tourney he hasn't got many like good runs, but in races in the past, like outside of the tourney, he got 54s. So I'm very like worried about Pseudo. But yeah, gonna be
Yeah,
another challenge.
would be a hard match, man.
Yeah.
Oh, just about in, guys. By the way, the Cyrelia versus Pseudo will determine who goes to the next losers bracket. So Nick still has a chance to beat one of those before deciding the winners final. So we could see Nick versus Fujo again. If you do your watch or fall off practice, Nick, that we were working on that before.
Yeah, at this point I knew that Fuji just finished the run, and I thought, why not, man?
Although, are you going to become an old patch runner now, Nick? Has it been confirmed?
Oh, maybe a spoiler.
Don't make me shake now. Gotta watch out. All right, but that's going to be it for the stream today. We will be coming back shortly with the schedule for next week, so stay tuned for that. The tournament is very close to the end now, so we might already see the winner next week or at least the week thereafter, so not long to go. But thank you guys for excellent race today, and thank you guys for the commentary, and we hope we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.